Hey there, Curr Iss folks. I am got to do it a little different this week on our videos here. I don't seem to have the ability in this particular software to share my screen and let you look at the PowerPoint. But when I try to record in Zoom, I can share my screen, but somehow or another, then I lose my audio. So I think it's probably better if you hear me talk about something that you can't see than if you see something that you can hear me talk about. So in the announcement, as you saw this video, there was the link that you can click on to print the couple of pages of the PowerPoint, and you can follow along with me as I talk about it. I am going to be looking at my screen where I have got the PowerPoint that you'll look at. So I think that as when I click on the PowerPoint, I see the PowerPoint on my screen, but not the recording. So I think that you're looking at me as I'm looking at the PowerPoint. But we are in week number 10, March the 21st through the March the 27th. You'll remember that in the last PowerPoint, in the video that I did for the week 9 reminders, I told you that you didn't have to log in all week long and you'd still get your participation points. It was kind of amusing, I guess, as I was going through and updating attendance from the week before that about half of you didn't log in after Monday, and about the other half of you logged in just about every day. I imagine you logged in and said, there's nothing new out here, but perhaps not everybody had a chance to watch that video. At any rate, we're into a new week. It's a regular week. We're back to normal. So we want to keep in mind a couple of things. First of all, finishing up from last week, finish up your spring break and get it out of your system. We're back to normal and we got to start working. In fact, it gets a little bit more crunch time critical now. So the after effects of spring break and sleeping in late or laying on the beach or whatever it was that you were able to do, let's get that out of the way. Finish up working on your issue paper. It is due at the end of this week on Sunday the 28th. Make sure that is complete. I don't remember in my videos if I talked about it being 4 pages or 3 pages. I think in the instructions it says 3, but in at least one of my other classes where there was a paper due, I gave a different set of instructions in the video. If I've given conflicting instructions, feel free to use the least of the two. So if one place I said 3 and one place I said 4, give me 3, and that meets the original requirements. In addition to finishing up the issue paper, continue to think about your project. Remember, you've got to do an oral presentation through Teams the week of either the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th of May, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, and then the Dropbox is due on the 9th. That's finishing up from last week or continuing from last week. New for this week, we have minimum wage as our topic. Read the overview and the articles. My apologies to Hector and his team. We already had minimum wage allocated as the topic for this week, and not knowing that, they picked that topic for next week as well and have already submitted all their materials. Hector, my apologies to you for not getting to you earlier to tell you that it was already selected off of the list. I'm going to need y'all, you'll see this in the next slide, need y'all to go ahead and be working on a different topic. So read the overview and the articles that Romanesque and Salyers and Sahanik have put together for minimum wage, and start posting to discussion 9. I'm going to have some thoughts on this. You probably already know what they are, but I'm going to wait a few days before I get out there and do that to make sure that the discussion gets going pretty good. If you're on Team 7, again, that's Romanesque, Salyers, and Sahanik, make sure that you're active in the discussion board. Post your initial, hey, I'm on the leadership team, Sunday or Monday, and post a follow-up to somebody else in the class by Tuesday night. If you're on Team 8, that is Tapia Castro and Thomas and Watson and Weathers. Make sure that you've gone on to Plan B since we're doing minimum wage this week. Again, my apologies to you for doing all of the work last week and then having to do it over again. I don't remember whether I got an email from one of you saying we'd like to do minimum wage. If I told you that was okay, I just confused the 2 weeks because they're back to back and I didn't check to see who was in what team. If you didn't send me an email saying you'd like to do that, shame on you. Because we could have saved you some problem. But get me your materials by Wednesday night for full credit. And then if you're on team number 9, that's Carter, Moon, and Weathers. Weathers has got 2 weeks back to back, and then she's going to be done for the semester as far as the leadership goes. Y'all need to make sure that you give me your next topic. So Weathers, I need you probably to be in charge there because you're going to be working with your team for next week to get a topic and a different team for the next week to get a topic. So don't let Carter and Moon pick a topic, Weathers, until you have already settled with Tapia, Castro, Thomas, and Watson. This is going to get a little confusing, I think. But we're going to get back into the routine of things, and it's going to go pretty smoothly. Let's have a good discussion on minimum wage. I'm going to encourage you to not only balance the needs and the empathy, the passion for our people, but also the realities of the real world and the organization. If we talk about benefits, yeah, we'd love to give everybody 6 weeks of vacation, but financially that's difficult, especially for small businesses. And let's weigh the two together, and let's not make it either or. We either give $20 an hour or we give nothing. Let's talk about alternatives and see what we can work on. All right, that's it for this particular week. Hopefully you've had an opportunity to look at the PowerPoint, printed it out so that you have an idea of what I'm looking at when I'm talking. And by next week, I'll be back in the office and I'll be doing these things there, and we won't have these problems anymore. That's it. Let's have a good week, and I'll see you again this time next week.